Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
And I am Tayo Salam.
All right, we begin the show starting with some athletes from Delta State who won gold medals have been rewarded with their 1 million naira check. That was the promise that was made by the governor of the state, Dr. Ifeanyi, when he said that every athlete that wins gold medals from the state will get the reward of 1 million naira.
It's looking like
Christmas come early.
Christmas for these athletes that did so well for Delta State at the 2020 National Sports Festival. Also on the program, still talking sports in the country. Match day 2 of the Nigerian Professional Football League will go down this weekend. And the big matchup is between Rangers and Enyimba in the Oriental Derby. We've got a comprehensive review or preview of that game in the course of the program.
Enyimba won the opening game. Rangers 2 also won theirs. That's the second derby Enyimba is displaying, just entering the season back to back. All right, also on the show, yes, LeBron James scored 36 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 blocks. Guess what? It wasn't enough because the Spurs crushed the Lakers by as much as 28 points in their final game at Staples Center before it to be rechristened Crypto.com Arena.
Wow. Not the way you want to lose, you know, at the Staples Center, in the final game at the Staples Center, but we know what's been going on with the Lakers. It's their 4th straight loss now, so there is a mini crisis at that club right now. We'll come back to that game later on. It's our feature matchup, Cecilia. But before then, we have results from all the other games that were played this morning. About 11 games in total. 1 was postponed.
It was a full schedule.
Indeed.
Before the Christmas Day game.
All right, let's take a look at the results.
And with
the Rockets and the Pacers. Cecilia, the Rockets, it looks like they're going on another losing run.
Losing run.
They lost the game, the Indiana Pacers, 118 to 106. Miles Turner with 32 points and 10 rebounds in that victory for Indiana. Elsewhere, the Orlando Magic, they lost against the New Orleans Pelicans, 110 to 104. Brandon Ingram with 31 points in the victory for New Orleans. The 76ers lost by just 2 points against the Atlanta Hawks, 98 to 96. Very painful.
Embiid was woeful.
Yeah, he missed a shot at the buzzer as well, so that could have perhaps won the game for the 76ers. But at the end of it all, it was Bogdanovic scoring 10 of his 15 points in the final 3 minutes, 44 seconds on the clock. The Heat also prevailed by 3 points against the Detroit Pistons, 115 to 112. Gabe Vincent finishing with 15 points for Miami in that victory. Since joining the starting rotation, Vincent has scored in double figures in 5 of 7 games. Cecilia, what a run the Tiger is having.
He's having a good run, and that's just the way to keep it up, especially when you're given opportunity to play. Just grab it and keep putting the numbers in. Awesome. That's what he's doing right now.
Awesome for Gabe Vincent, Nandi, as we like to call him in this part. Let's move on to the Mavs against the Milwaukee Bucks. First of all, the Wizards against the Knicks, 124 to 117. Kemba Walker having his best game in a Knicks shirt, but it wasn't enough.
44 points.
That's massive.
9 rebounds, 8 assists.
But it wasn't enough. The Washington Wizards withstood that hot hand from Kemba Walker to get to 124 to 117 victory. The Bucks were victorious against the Dallas Mavericks, 102 to 95. Chris Middleton with 26 points in that victory. They were missing both Giannis and Doncic. Did not feature for both sides, so the other players had to step up.
Giannis' 5th game is missing.
Yes. Anyways, the Nuggets lost against the Charlotte Hornets, 107 to 115. Charlotte overcoming a 19-point deficit in that victory. Great Carter to come back for the W. The Suns. Cecilia, what more can we say? Devin Booker, 30 points on the night. The Suns won their 5th straight game with a 113 to 104 victory over the OKC Thunder.
I mean, they've been remarkable. Not just David Muka, of course, for me, had 30 points in that game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. DeAndre 18 also putting up 19 points, 12 rebounds. I mean, these guys just want to stay top, best right now when it comes to the league. It's only the Warriors that can compete with them. And the way the Suns are going, I don't know who can really stop this team. But they're OKC, you say, not really like a big team. But then, but the way they're streaking together, it shows that.
Come on, they've won 5 in a row.
They've won 5 in a row.
That's what they did earlier in the
team
season
that got the
well.
longest
winning streak for the
season. I mean, for the season right now, because the Cavs had it, but then the Bucks had to stop them. They were stopped some. The Celtics stopped them, and now the Suns is having it.
Anyways, the Suns are still rising, but the Phoenix still rising right now in the NBA. Let's move on to the Jazz and the Timberwolves, 128-116 in favor of Utah. Donovan Mitchell with 28 points in that victory. The Warriors were also victorious. It was against the Memphis Grizzlies, 113-104. While the Lakers and the Spurs, like we said, the Lakers were crushed by San Antonio, 138-110. We already seen pictures are coming from that game. Cecilia, what happened to the Lakers and how did they end up losing that game? I think it was not solely down to one man, but this guy was very instrumental to that victory for San Antonio. I'm talking about Keita Bates-Diop. He scored a career high 30 points while making 11 of the shots.
I mean, it was perfect on the day, but you know, we keep talking about the Lakers. Like, if you're having LeBron James giving you 36 points in a game, the other time it was 32 or 34. So it gives you the numbers, gives you the assists, the rebounds, everything. And then you're asking, what about the support cast? What are they doing to really step up and help him out? And that's what is not happening with the Lakers. Yes, we know it's a depleted side. But if you have Russell Westbrook and then you have LeBron James, are you going to be talking about a depleted side?
I mean, Russell did his best. 30 points on the night.
What
also. More can he do?
The point I'm trying to make is what happened to the supporting cast that's supposed to help them out?
A lot of players are out, 5 players in total. Frank Vogel is out as well, to the head coach. A lot of their defenders are out as well. It sounded like excuses, not excuses, because even before these players started to go into the NBA's health and safety protocols, we've been talking about how the Lakers have not been convincing at all. So this is no excuse at all for the Lakers. They're having a very, very rocky patch. Like I said, 4 games they've lost now in a row. And I know they're still not getting to that stage of panicking, and it's not panic stations yet, but the Lakers should be really, really, really worried with the way they have been playing. Anyways, let's give credit to the victorious side. Keita Bates-Diop, like I said, was immense, perfect from the field to finish with 30 points, while Derek White also added 23 points, and Looney Walker added 21 in the third victory on a 4-game road trip for the Spurs. Let's take post-game reactions now. First of all, coming from the head coach, Greg Popovich. We also get to listen to the man of the moment as well, to Keita Bates-Diop.
Did a fine job at both ends of the court. You know, he hardly guarded LeBron, but he did his best. The offensive end, you know, he shot well, he moved well without the ball, did a good job. So it was it really was a team effort, because I thought, you know, some of the bench guys outplayed the starters, which is a great sign, because, you know, starters aren't going to do it every single night. They've got to have that support, and they get credit for doing that and playing for 48 on the last game of the road trip. It's been a long road trip, been a good road trip, but they had the same tenacity and competitiveness tonight as they did for the first game on the trip.
I was just playing the game, reading the defense, moving around. I mean, I don't think I dribbled that much, honestly. It was just moving, cutting. All my teammates found me every time. Knocked down shots, made an open layup, and that was pretty much it. When they went small, they got a little loose with their switches and everything, so every time I would go screen, I would just roll, whoever would drive, and I just circle around and just find the open pocket.
That's the name to watch out for. Cecilia, Keita Bates-Diop. Before this game, Susan I was 10.
Was 10, yes.
Now you take on the Lakers, you score 30.
You have opportunity to play your last game at Staples Center. You know what it means to you. Just win and leave the memory with everyone.
4 years in the league.
Defense. And this is the first time he's having 30 points and he scored against the Lakers. And he had to do it in the last game at Staples Center.
Incredible.
So what a story. He can go with that.
Definitely.
All right. Let's take a listen to the Lakers now. LeBron, obviously, not happy.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we want to play as a team every single night and try to get guys involved and move the ball from one side to the other. That's me and Russ. Our objective and our roles of the team is to not only get ourselves going, but more importantly, get our other guys going. And tonight, we didn't have much going offensively. We don't need a full roster. We just need a lot of our guys back. All our defensive guys are in safe and healthy protocol. Avery, Bays, TA, and Austin. That's all our defensive guys. We got a couple more, but those are our guys.
Yeah, all the defenders are out, so it's hard for them to really cope. Oh, just hope they come back early so Lakers can arrest this slump. Because on Christmas Day, it's a big game. They will be playing against Brooklyn Nets. James Harden is out of the health and safety protocol. Kevin Durant will be out later today. So it's going to be the big three. Kyrie Irving, of course, might just be playing. And then, what do we have with the Lakers? Fingers crossed.
We'll see. We'll see about that. Before we leave the NBA, let's take a look at that.
Top performance.
Yeah, standout players.
Yes, he's just 2 shy of a double-double. 1 shy of a double-double.
Yeah.
36, 9, and 6. Some big numbers, Christmas Eve. Brendan Ingram, 31, 6, and 4.
All right. Next stop.
Devin Booker. 37 and 7 on the winning side.
Just like he never left back from injury and just playing.
Okay, let's start with those guys who put us some numbers and of course they lost. Kemba Walker, 44, 9 and 8. You just want to cry for him.
Yeah. Your best game and you end up on the losing side.
And then this guy who is not human, 8 3-pointers on the 9th. I don't know what he's trying to prove.
No, it's not trying to prove anything.
46.
He's the best.
46 on the 9th. Remember, he had done 50 and 51 already this season, and then 46. Okay.
Miles Turner.
32, 10, and 1.
For the Indiana Pacers. Fantastic victory over the Houston Rockets. Anyway, so those are the standout performers in the NBA. All time to move on to all the sports. And we're coming back to Nigeria, Delta State to be precise. You know
what it means for you to get a 1 million naira.
1 day,
just 2 days to Christmas. You understand? Even if you don't bought your rice and every other thing, you've got enough money to do that. And that's exactly what happened to Delta State athletes. The governor promised them in April, after the National Sport Festival, the 20th edition that was held in Edo State, that every athlete that won a gold medal will get 1 million naira cash prize. And of course, the cash was presented to them just yesterday.
Promise fulfilled.
Remember, Delta won 158 gold medals. They came first.
They were runaway winners.
They dusted everyone. 150. And this swimmer here, Ifeka Chukwu, I can't remember how many gold medals he won. He's a swimmer, he won so many medals. I think about 3 or 4 gold medals in that one. That's
insane. You see all of the decoration on his neck right there. It is awesome.
Swimmer will be the ones that will celebrate more, because at the end of the day, not just 158 gold medals, 116 silver and 110 bronze medals.
There you go. They were so dominant. And like we expected as well. So the Delta, when it comes to the National Sports Festival, they've been a dominant force in the last few editions. And they've laid down a serious marker for the other states to try and catch up. But unfortunately, as it looks right now, it looks like a very, very difficult task for the other states because Delta, to catch up. Delta are just on a different level. They're operating on a very high level when it comes to sports development. It is fantastic for these athletes to finally get their cash rewards.
They've waited, it's going to be next year or something like that. I
think it's perfect timing. The holidays are around, and you get that monies eventually, and you can. It's happy days.
It's happy days for them. It's really happy days. Okay. All right. Let's listen to the representative of the governor. The governor wasn't there, but the secretary to the state governor was there, Patrick Uka.
We are most delighted And at every opportunity we find ourselves, we're always happy to thank you all athletes and officials, led by the executive chairman, for the wonderful way you have maintained what Delta is known for. And I know that the challenge we have now is to see that probably for every event we participate in the next festival, that no gold medal leaves Asaba. And I know that by the grace of God, it's going to be Operation No Gold leaves Asaba, except the one we decide that they can go with. Yes, because we are going to do it with joy, with happiness. If we can be this confident and we did it outside, what then says that just behind our house, that will not do it, when our parents, our brothers and sisters will all be out there to watch you and to cheer you up.
So the plans for them is that the next one they're hosting, which is going to be in November, no gold medal will leave Delta State. That's a tough call coming from Delta State. Now, they're planning for the 2022 edition. It's going to be the 21st edition of the National Sports Festival. And, of course, Patrick Oka. And also, Patrick Oka happens to be the chairman of the local organizing committee. They've been talking about how prepared they will be, the plans they have for that to host successfully. And, of course, you also have Tony Okowa, who is the president of Athletics Federation of Nigeria. I mean, they've got a lot of plans. We know when it comes to track and field, Delta State is a team to really watch out for. So from what they've done in the past and what they've been able to achieve, it goes to show that, yes, when it comes to track and field and also when it comes to sports, they can maybe win it. But these are the plans they're having for the 21st edition.
We expect that we present a world-class facility, we present a good ambience for the games, and we make sure that there's safety of life and properties of those who are coming. And I think these are the components of what makes up a festival. And I can assure you that people will come here and they will cry when they are going home that they are going to meet good company in Delta. We will improve on what we have. There will be new ones because there are a lot of things that we don't have. At least we looked at, we are going to partner with the private sector to make sure we have hostels that will be powered by the private sector. We're going to have a beautiful indoor sports hall that can give us enough facility that can take care of all the indoor events that we're talking about. And you're going to see an improved stadium and so many others. But you just watch out. There's no need letting the cat out of the bag. But what is important is that we have been thinking, we have been planning.
Suffice to say that Delta State is the hub of good. At least we have the coaches. So you'll be surprised that some of them that are from the youth game that we discovered would even compete against people from other states that are even at the senior level. So we have them. We are blessed. Delta State, we are blessed with good athletes. And the truth is, we always train, we always prepare in advance. We don't wait until competitions are near before we start preparation. So that's why we always do well.
Jide Olaniro is in the building, and Jide is looking at the parts this time around. Jide, it's great to have you on Christmas Eve.
I can see that.
Yeah.
No intimidation, right? The last time we said you don't have to come to the studio like this. Come on, it's not Christmas Day yet. Christmas is on a Saturday.
Eve.
Today's 24th.
Christmas is on a Saturday.
Yes.
This is intimidation, right?
No, it's not.
It is.
I have a problem with it. Anyways, let's get on with the show, and you can be a part of Sport This Morning by sending your mails to Sport This Morning at channelstv.com. The match day 2 of the Nigerian Professional Football League is going to go down on Sunday, and the big matchup is between Rangers and Enyimba. I know we have a lot of fans of those two sides across the country. Send us your predictions. How do you see that particular game panning out as well? Of course, there's no match in the EPL on Christmas Day, but then Boxing Day is going to be fire. Lots of games to look forward to on Boxing Day. Man City, they'll be taking on Leicester City. How do you think that game is going to pan out? You see City extending their lead at the top of the Premier League twice. They've ended the year on top on Christmas Day. They've gone on to win the title. So ominous for the other title rivals. All right, guys, Cecilia, Jide, let's get on with the show now. And yeah.
Match day 2, NPFL. Quickly, Rangers and Enyimba. There's Kano Pillars, there's Lobby Stars, there's also Shooting Stars, Aqua United. Plateau United also be in action against Aquara United. Other games, Abia Warriors and Sunshine Stars, Remo Stars and Heartland, Rivers United and Katsina, Dakada and MFM, Nasarawa United, Gombe, Wicked Tourist, and Niger Tornadoes. So take your pick. I believe Rangers, Enyimba, Kano Pillars, Lobby Stars.
Definitely. Rangers, the Oriental again, the Oriental Derby once again, just like we had one. Abia, yes, and this is Abia, yes, Enyimba. So this time around it is Rangers versus Enyimba. They coincidentally they both won their first games, and that shows that they are really ready for this particular season, and for good enough for them. Enyimba is likely not going to be having this season. They wouldn't be having the distraction of playing on the continent the way it's looking. And I think that this is one game that we should look out for. On the part of these two teams, they've got, Enyimba's got a fantastic manager, started well, and most times when there are this kind of derby, Enyimba seems to have the upper hand.
Well, they're playing
not forgetting, that's what, even irrespective of what, Enyimba seems to have the upper hand. The last one, I think Enyimba won on both legs. Enyimba had more points in this kind of fixture, the reverse fixtures last season. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Enyimba gets an away victory. But the way the Rangers started the season on fire, I think they will be massive. They will be coming out against them, especially playing in front of their crowd. Good enough, and NPFL has allowed fans to come into the stadium, and this happened during the festive period. People will also, I believe, fans will want to go there to just have fun and relax.
I mean, just a fun day, right?
Yeah,
family time out.
So that's what is going to be a plus.
That's what it should be. But you know how things are.
That's what it will be. Hopefully.
I just hope that. I just hope that, unlike the first day when we had the Southwest Derby, where we had confusion whether it was Teslim between Remo and when we had confusion about whether it was going to be Teslim or Onikon. This time around, I want to believe that all the venues are set.
Indeed. That should be a very, very exciting game between Rangers and Enyimba, one of the biggest derbies in the Nigerian Professional Football League. Which other game are you looking forward to watching? Jide, there are games involving Rivers United, there is Shooting Stars, Aqua United, surely that one.
Yeah, that's another one. Shooting Stars also started very well, got the result they desired, and they will be a new stadium. This will be the first time. Not really. The refurbished, well renovated. Well, hopefully, we hope it doesn't rain at that stadium this time around. But if there will be any rain, it will definitely be the rain of goals. That's the only rain I'm expected to.
Remember that on that particular day, the rain was so heavy.
Yeah, that's what it's saying.
It could be heavy. It could be heavy too.
Sometimes you have to wait a while for it to go down.
Yes, exactly. But it could be heavy too. Yeah, it could be heavy, and we hope, just like I said, rain. But we hope if it rains, it should be about the goals. Playing against Aqua United, defending champion. That is will be massive.
3-0 winners on the
first exactly day. On the first day. On the first day, Shooting Stars too, and it's going to test the resilience of Aqua United, no doubt, in this particular one, because Shooting Stars will definitely want to give the defending champions They want to give them at home and trust the Ibadan fans. They are back in the Premier League now. They want to come out and return.
We'll see if they can get all 3 points, because their opening game was goalless, no goals at all against
It's good. They've got going away to play goalless. That's a fantastic result in this league.
Yes. Like we saw how Rangers went all the way to Casina and got all 3 points.
Yeah, it's possible too.
And Shooting Stars couldn't score. It's a good result. Okay, let's see what's going to happen.
But it's good. But you know that when you travel and you are able to pick a point
in the Nigerian Professional Football League. Yeah.
If you're so lucky again, you're able to pick the 3 points at stake.
It's the opening game. Remo Stars came here 2-0 and they went with all 3 points. So what are we talking about if it's so rare? If it's towards the end of the season, I will understand.
What is your
but
point
if it's the beginning of the season and you're getting, you're getting your result that you want, come on, guys.
What is your point?
My point is, Shooting Stars should have beaten Gombe. Yes,
really?
It's not beginning of
but
the
they got
season.
the point.
They had to share this point. No goals.
They had to share
just
it.
1 point from your opening game.
Yeah,
not a good result. Okay,
but I'm surprised also that Kwara United. I'm also surprised because we must also emphasize some of. While we also, I was even surprised that Kwara United played their first game in the same stadium that we understood that was banned by the LMC. So these are some of the things that it's too early in the day for us to be observing this. I think this shouldn't mark a fantastic season.
Maybe a few days before this season started, they fixed the stadium and then they could play there.
Oh,
and that's how they won 3-0.
Fix? You mean they fixed? Wow. Well, all right.
Let's talk about Remo Stars. Yeah, they came to Lagos, got 3 points. They're taking on Heartland.
In fact, you see, when you get home, that's one thing about Remo. They need to announce the points they could rack up this time around, especially as early, because a lot of people will, if at the beginning of season, a lot of people were joking about the fact that they will soon go back, find their way, the water will find its level, they will soon go back. By the end of mid-season, we know where they belong and they will have. But they got an away victory against MFM. And Heartland is traveling. They will be visiting their stadium, fantastic stadium, and we must give kudos to the owner of Remo Stars, what he's doing also. So they will be welcoming back. But I just want to warn their fans that this is a new season. They should behave, because one of the problems you have is not about the kind of football they play.
This is
not NNL. They should behave. They should behave. Also, the fan factor, because the fans will definitely come to watch. They should behave. I hope they are watching. They should behave. And I know that Heartland is not that strong thing that they should give them a day. But in football, anything can happen.
Because the players don't get paid anyway, so...
Motivation, you just reminded us now, and does it. But that's one thing. There might be some drama. Who knows what the players are thinking of? They might walk out. Stage a walkout or protest.
All right, guys, so those are the games for match day 2 of the Nigerian Professional Football League. You can always join us on Monday for a comprehensive review of all of those games on Sports This Morning. Cecilia, let's move on with the show now, and it's time to focus on the Africa Cup of Nations.
Countdown to Africa Cup of Nations is 16 days. Everything is looking so good right now. It's 16 days to the Nations Cup, just 2 weeks and 2 days, and we'll all be in Cameroon for the 2021 Nations Cup, holding in 2022. And of course, our focus on the teams today, we'll be focusing on Sudan, Algeria, and Cote d'Ivoire. Sudan, how big are they? Yes, not so big, but Algeria, yes, the biggest. And of course, Cote d'Ivoire, defending champion, and Arab Cup winners. Algeria will be the team to look at, for also the team to beat. But let's start off with Sudan. Sudan, they're known as the Jordan Falcons. They're ranked 124th in the world and has featured 9 times at the competition and won it just once. That was far back in 1970. And Sudan is also one of the 8 teams to have won the title as host. They hosted in 1970 and they won it. That's the one and the only time. And moving on to Algeria, of course, one of the most successful teams, talking about the Nations Cup, and of course, the #1 ranked team right now. Algeria is also called Desert Forces. They're ranked 29th in the world. You know the reason for that. Not 29th, now they've moved up to 20th in the world, yes, because of the
latest ranking.
Then they featured 19 times at the competition. They won it twice, 1919, and of course, the last one, 2019. And they're also one of the 8 teams to have won the title as host. And also,
that was in Algiers.
That's in Algiers 1919, where they hosted, and they also won the title. For Cote d'Ivoire, the Elephants, yes, that's what they're called, ranked 56th in the world right now. They featured 24 times at the competition. They won the title twice, 1992 and 2015. Laurent Pocos has scored the highest number of goals in a single match for Cote d'Ivoire. He scored 5 goals in that 6-1 victory over Ethiopia, and that was 1970. Since then, it's never happened. And Cote d'Ivoire is also, of course, one of the 6 players to to have won top scorer award in multiple editions. He won in 68 and 70. Another player also from Nigeria, Segun Odegbami, is another player that won top scorer award when we won it in 1980. And of course, the year we did not win it, which was 78 or that. But at the end of the day, Laurent is another player that all the Ivorians will be hailing simply because he helped them to win the Nations Cup. But then there's also Didier Drogba, right?
Yeah. But Laurent, before Didier, there was a Laurent Pope. Okay. Because Laurent was house name. Laurent was, no, there's no, any time you talk about Ivory Coast at the Nations Cup, you will definitely remember what Laurent Pope was done in the competition. There's a lesson advert. Sudan is one of the teams that will be coming with is an interim coach, because right now, the last time I checked, they also fired their own coach after the Arab. And I was asking myself, if they had known, maybe they wouldn't have attended the man that qualified them. They would have stayed, the man would have just stayed away from the Arab Cup, and maybe they wouldn't have. But that's how passionate they are with their football. The same with the three of the national teams that will be coming have fired their coaches that qualified them for the Nations Cup, and they've had to appoint a local person in charge. One is Guinea, Nigeria is one, and also Sudan. And Sudan will be given fantastic. They have a chance in that particular team too. When you look at that group, like you said, and because a team that has the chance.
Sudan happens to be in Nigeria's group. Why would they have a chance? Or have Egypt? I don't know why you're saying that. We've got Egypt in the group.
Egypt in that group. Yeah, but when you say Egypt in that group,
Egypt, Nigeria, Sudan. So if Sudan is having
underperformed. When you look at Egypt in that, they hosted the last one. Don't forget the last time I checked. Okay. They didn't win it. But of course, what comes to mind is everybody thinks about Salah and the rest of them. But for me, I think Egypt also will. I don't want to be categorical, but I feel that they will just come and make the number.
No, come on.
Yeah, no. Okay, because the pressing, the country that will eventually win.
Anyways, guys,
it's going to be. But Algeria is the team to beat, no doubt.
Definitely.
We have they've just won the Arab. That shows that it was no fluke winning
because
the
they didn't even go with the full squad.
The squad, so they are the team to beat.
Okay, and Côte d'Ivoire as well. So, all right, guys. So that's it for the countdown. It will continue on Monday, Cecilia.
Obviously, it's going to continue on Monday. And of course, this time around, we'll keep talking about what happened at the press conference that was held in Lagos on Wednesday by the president of Nigeria Football Federation, Amaju Pene. This time around is about consultation with the coaches that they want to hire, and the fact that these coaches they're talking to know so much about Nigerian players. Let's take a listen to him confirming that yes, they are in talks with coaches, and also they had to talk to Jose Mourinho for him to recommend coaches for the nation.
We don't want to make mistakes, and that's why we interface with the ministry on every level. On every level. On every level, you know. So, and if you have, I also spoke with, Arsene is our technical director in FIFA. We had an interface, I had an interface personally with him on some of these coaches. And of course, Mourinho, I mean, these are two of the best coaches in the world. And we also interface with I'm not going to tell you that we didn't talk to Mourinho. We spoke to Mourinho. Even the minister spoke with Mourinho. So, and there's nothing wrong about that because he is equally as concerned the way we are. So, and there's no. We want to. If you can see that our last coach for 5 years, it was just for 5 years plus. Because we don't want to be going back and forth, going back and forth, going back and forth. So we didn't want to make any mistake. We want to make sure we dot all the I's, and everything will come in a near perfect situation. If the coach will give us the Nations Cup, the coach will be drafted immediately. So I'm not going to tell you that so what's the essence of employing if our technical committee they submit their report and the executive committee say yes and we are ready, so what are you waiting for? You know me, I don't know how to observe what, what are they observing? He's coming here to work, and he's coming here to work immediately. Or I talked with all of them. And when I was talking to one of them yesterday, he's using, I was just too impressed, using the WeScout, scouting all our players. He was telling me about things that I don't even know about our players. He was telling me things that I don't even know. The strength of each player. It was new to me and quite impressive. From Ndidi to Balogun to the strength of each player. He was telling me the strength of each player, and it just took me off guard. So it's not, we're not just going to experiment. You can't experiment with Nigeria. Why can't we win the Nations Cup? We have the youngest and most enterprising team right now. Yes, the Govt can do it, but also know somebody can do it better.
Yes, we've appointed a government, but then want someone that will do it better. Okay, so it simply means that from all indication, if a new coach is really unveiled next week, that may just be the coach that will take the Super Eagles to the Nations Cup, right?
You just said it. You just said it. That is the implication of this press conference. This
so
one
that will not be taking Nigeria to the Nations Cup.
That's why no information is coming so far. It's silence, dead silence from the house, because that is why we are having all this situation. People are complaining. Countries are releasing the list of their players, but Nigeria is here. We are still waiting. We named a coach a week ago. We are not sure whether he's the coach that will take. But from what he has said, the NFL president has been able to market Jose Peseiro, who knows more than he does about the Super Eagles, who was recommended by Jose Mourinho, because that is it. Coach. I remember I don't know who actually recommended Govt Raw, but that means it's on record. It will forever be on record that the manager that is coming was recommended by Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, I think
are we going to hold Jose Mourinho for his failure too? When we'll say, because he has done his job by recommending.
Yeah, from what the NFL president just said, Amaju Pinnick, he said he knows so much about Nigerian players. He understands the players, so he should be able to bring out the best in them. And I think that's the reason they're rooting for a coach like that. Well, the Nations Cup is 16 days away. Let's see when it's going to come and see what he can do.
He knows so much about. He knows so much about Nigerian players. You, of course, like I would say something about, football is about what was described by Michael Jackson. Mike Tyson.
Okay.
Everybody has a strategy until you receive a punch in the face.
Okay.
So the strategy, all he knows about, let's quickly let them unveil him so that he can take know what we are. Like they will say on social media that this is what you order, this is what was delivered, you get. Let them unveil him so that he takes the team to the Nations Cup so that we know what we have ordered. Because a manager that could stay with the team and I know NFF loves them like that. A manager that could work for 1 year without being paid. A manager that has played 10 games with Venezuela, lost 6, drew 3, won 1. Good enough. All the best to them.
All right. Now, talking about wages, he has confirmed that they will, Govt Raw will be paid very soon. Let's listen to him.
What is the situation? We are working on 2 different things. First thing, we want to make sure we clear Govt Raw's outstanding salaries and everything that is entitled as enshrined in his contract. We want to do that within the next 10 days. We're in touch with our sponsors and they have full commitment to it. Then we also have to have a reserve, because we're looking at apart from our main sponsors, also looking at some other of our sponsors, trying to warehouse some funds, maybe from other sponsors, because of the problem our coach sponsors possibly are having because of the IOCs, what they are going through right now. But we are making arrangements internally in ensuring that this will not happen with this new coach. We don't want to give any excuse, but trust me, we are warehousing funds for at least for his payment for the next 6 months.
All right, Coach Gennett Raw will be paid soon. Remember the story that broke out some time ago when he said he was going to go to court. But with this promise, hopefully he gets his wages cleared next week.
But I listened to, there was an interview on this same channel with when the NFF was, the president was almost denying that they weren't owing.
No, he didn't say they were not owing. He said they were owing, but they paid some of it. They just have some left. Yeah, I think that
because he was struggling with his words that day.
We need to go on a break. When we come back, we'll leave the issues of having a new coach, AFCON, and quickly talk about the English Premier League and what some of the coaches are facing concerning having to rotate players with the outbreak of COVID-19 in their camp.
The tradition from Boxing Days in the football in the Premier League is massively important. Is one of the characteristics. That's why this league is special in this time of period. This is not going to be changed. Premier League always, the Boxing Days was so important. It was so nice for the families, go to all together to the stadiums. I can imagine 1st of January in London, Arsenal, Man City, 12:30. How nice will be the stadium with all the people. The problem is the fixtures, the calendars, the 365 days a year with the international duties for the national teams, for the huge competitions, for a lot of games. This is the problem must be solved. The players, I said many times, have 2 weeks, 3 weeks holidays in summertime. That's all. And the season again. 2-3 weeks and again and again. This is too much.
Yeah, so many games. I believe most of the coaches will love the fact that they want to be having 5 substitutions. It was done last year because of the COVID-19, and then UEFA continues, but FIFA continues, but then in the Premier League, they're still having 3
all around Europe. But then they voted for it, right? The majority said they wanted 3.
But I don't know why the Premiership will be the odd one out. I don't know why, because already with what is happening to some of these Premiership sides, like you saw how Spurs couldn't honor some of their games just because of COVID and all that. That is showing that the COVID is also having effect on some of those teams. And so there's one of the things to do is just maybe you increase the size of the team as well as maybe the substitutions as well. They should also look at that direction.
I mean, according to some of the managers, the managers, the captains and senior players, they had a meeting with Premier League yesterday. Of course, the whole issue was to actually discuss how the team will be able to manage this season, congestion of fixtures, and also looking at players' welfare. That is where the health and safety protocol, everything comes to play. But at the end of the day, the 5 substitutions were not agreed at. But what they agreed on is the fact that, look, they can actually have players from their under-21 that have maybe played 1 game, that have already made their debut. They can go to the under-21 team and then add those players. So it simply means players that were not registered before can also play. So you must have at least 14 fit players to be able to play.
I feel that they need to look for a way around it. They have to be creative about it. Because like someone, we were just having a discussion and someone raised the issue about this, that most times when some of those rules are made, players are really that's considered. They are not considered that about their health and all that. Everybody's just thinking about the business side. Yeah, the players are also part of the business too, of the ecosystem. So
and that's why they had the meeting. That's why the meeting. One of the
good that they've had the meeting, and as long as the players agrees with them, then no problem. Because they're the ones that will eventually feel the.
Okay.
Ralph, Professor Ralph.
Yeah, Professor Ralph, what do you have to say concerning this? Obviously, he's not happy. But then he's not having much issues. Yes, they postponed their games. They're back to training. They will be facing Newcastle on Monday. Yeah, they still have some time to prepare for that game.
Well, as far as I remember, the 4 substitutes were implemented, or it was decided that every team could substitute 5 players when COVID started last 2 years ago, or 1.5 years ago. And I think it was the right decision to do that, to have more options to change players, to save energy for players, especially if they have only just recovered from COVID. And the same is true right now. So we have let's put it that way, a similar situation to the one that we had 1.5 years ago. And therefore, I wouldn't see any reason why it shouldn't be as it was 1.5 years ago. And as far as I know, in Europe, England is the only country where they only allow 3 subs. In all other leagues, in the 4 big leagues, in the other 4 big leagues in Europe, you can substitute 5 players.
All right, he's also backing that 5 players. We'll see what's going to happen in that one. All right, time to take a look at the papers now. I'll start with a Sporting Sun. There's so many big stories here. Sporting Sun have this one. Super Eagles static on FIFA ranking. Yes, nothing was played, so it's still 36th in the world and 5th in Africa. Remain where they are. No movement since October. Salah outlines condition for Liverpool stay. Does he want to go? Okay, the best place you can go to is Real Madrid because you know they always win the Champions League and in La Liga with Ancelotti in charge.
But Liverpool also will leave.
Liverpool are not winning the league this season.
They won't even leave. Of course, they will also want to find.
They may win the Champions League.
They want to keep him too because it's one of their star players. So they want to keep him
and give him no matter.
But one thing I don't understand about really if the wage structure of Liverpool that I see is actually what those players earn. It's very poor.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know who talks to these players. I don't know the system.
No, because where the players are coming from, check where Mo Salah came from, AS Roma. Check where Sadio Mane, Southampton, is where they're coming from. So it's when the deal is about to expire, then they start negotiation. That's when the money
Let's see how it goes. Because most times, you know, one thing that
give credit to their scouting system.
Scouting and the people who negotiate.
They won't go for a
really
Ronaldo
doing
or
a great
Messi.
job.
Yes, they look for players who've got the talent, and then
there are some teams in that same Premiership. Immediately you show any prospect. Even if you have longer, you still have longer years on your contract. They are tying you down more and increasing the pay. I think that's the difference.
Okay, you're talking about Manchester United right now because lawyers negotiate the deals, right, Tayo? Lawyers are the ones negotiating deals with the players.
But I think they also are aware. Don't forget that players know exactly some of these things happen in other clubs, so they will want to be.
But if you want to price a player out of Manchester United or maybe Man City or maybe Chelsea, you're going to bring out the money.
Guys,
so that's where it's coming from.
Obviously, for Salah, he wants a particular figure, and if they don't give him that figure,
it's good to
Good enough. It's even good for every other team. You know how it works. They will definitely. I want to believe that Liverpool will try and match. They will, and that will affect the wage structure. Maybe that will even help other players step up.
The likes of Sadio Mane and
the other guys will want more as well.
Yes,
that's it.
Arteta says, I will reintegrate Aubameyang if. Okay, there's a question mark. So Aubameyang might just be on his way to Barcelona for free. Lukaku Hudson-Odoi test negative. Finally,
awesome story.
Players should be coming here
for Chelsea.
Amuneke breaks silence on vacant Super Eagles job. Insists Nigeria can win Nations Cup. Okay, with all this distraction and saga, our players arrive for Australian Open. Well, Djokovic yet to confirm the same decision. Yeah, we don't know if Djokovic is going to be there. Neymar out of course, he's been injured. So round of 16, he will still not be fit. And Pogba resumes training after COVID-19 threat. Andy Murray handed a wild card. I hope he competes this time. The last time he got a wild card, but COVID-19 struck. He couldn't go to Melbourne.
All right, let's go to sports and life. As our last paper for review, Nigeria to field 5 home-based players as alternates. That's at AFCON. 23 stars expected in Abuja, January the 3rd. Camp opens December the 29th. So interesting. What else? 2022 AFCON, we're going to win it. That's according to Maduka Okoye, Super Eagles' first choice goalkeeper. Klopp Conte lead calls to scrap 2-legged Carabao Cup semi-final. This is one of the things that they can do to reduce the congestion. Are you playing 2 legs?
Exactly. Already, because one of them, is there any manager that's not in support
playing
of
2 legs? Just scrap the second leg, one off.
They did that with FA Cup.
So why
with the situation that with the global pandemic right now,
the less games, the better.
We need to be creative. Exactly. We need to be creative about it.
All right. So this one I know is going to get us talking, perhaps until the end of the show. Napoli doctor disagrees with Osimhen's full recovery claims. I will head to court if you play for Nigeria. That's according to Napoli lawyer as well. So, you know, Nigerian side celebrates her very prematurely.
But really,
when that came out.
I think I remember this the last time we had this discussion. We said that I don't see him play. It's not a must. There are other players, and that's just he wants to. I understand a young man who wants to play, but he's excited. But what? The implication, health-wise, I don't think he's considered.
He hasn't played for Napoli still.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And I don't see why Napoli will want to release a player that have not played for them after coming out of injury first.
From
you have
surgery.
to play from surgery.
Yeah.
You just don't want to allow that player. The player, I feel naturally as a just for justice reason, and that this fair play rather for fair play. This he should play first for Napoli because that's where his wages are being paid. So that's where he gets his money from. So he should. Well, for me, I think Nigeria should be thinking about life without him at the Nations Cup. That is just fair. There are other matches to be played. The playoff is there, and but let's allow.
So as it is right now, it looks like the celebrations were a bit premature.
Yeah, premature. Yeah. We need to temper of course.
It's not we. He was the one who posted it on
that's
social
why
media
I know
that
he wanted
he
to.
was 100% fit and ready
Is he
to
a
play
medical
for
doctor?
AFCON.
Exactly.
No, that's what he said.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
we're thinking maybe the doctor already giving him a go ahead that he can start playing. That's why he went up. But right now, for what the doc is saying, so Sime, you have to stay well. You still have so many AFCON to take part in. Your health is more important than us winning the Nations Cup. Chide, thank you so much for coming in.
It's a pleasure. The compliment of the season to you.
Thank you. Thank you all for watching as well. So Merry Christmas in advance. I am Taya Salah.
And I'm Cecilia Mwangwe. Merry Christmas.